All right, guys, welcome back to another two episode. What stuck out to me? I don't know. Episode recap of, but it won't be a full recap. And you'll know if you watch the first episode of this. But anyway, of bad influencers. So let's go ahead and get started with this video. And the next, so the episode 3 is called Plug That Hole. And then episode 4 is called Mogul Slay. And I just realized I didn't tell you guys. So if you do not know where this is on, it's on Netflix. Okay. Just want to let you know. If this is your first time watching, just want to let you know, first off, thank you so much. This will not be a episode. I keep thinking something's moving over there in my basket. This will not be a detailed episode recap. This will just be more of an overview summary of things that stood out to me in each of these episodes. If you want a detailed recap, make sure you check out Liz's video, which is from Nothing But Bags. I will link her first video down below if you want a detailed recap. Obviously, these are going to be spoilers. Watch it and come back if you want to, not be spoiled and want to comment below. I would love to talk to you about it in the comments. Let's get started. BK ended up getting robbed. She's sewing. The pawn shop owner's wife or girlfriend, whoever she is, she comes back there to check on BK, and then the lady screams. She goes out to check on him, and they find her stash of bags and cash. And I hear her Bedekin coming home. Hopefully it won't be too loud. Okay, let me keep going. And she's now involved with this kind of higher level guy that seems to be above Becky. And you see this series of BK makes a decision, something goes wrong with that decision. BK is very resourceful, and I cannot read my handwriting, but oh yeah, I wanted to point out bad decisions come out of desperation, because what you keep seeing, which is basically why this series is so captivating and entertaining, is the fact that BK is very resourceful and she's a quick thinker, and she thinks of a solution. She also is very aware of her surroundings and what's going on. So she tries to be careful about what she's doing, and she'll come up with a solution, but then something happens with that solution, and she has to figure out something else to fix it. It's just like, out of desperation, this one thing happened, and then this other thing happened. So it's just like a domino effect of you continuing to have to make these decisions off of desperation that don't end up working out. Also, I wanted to point out there as well that with this same thought about bad decisions come out of desperation also come from what we see Pinky do. Pinky is upset. She decides to get drunk. She goes to this brand influencer event, and she decides to, which ends up working out in her favor, but she exposes her situation online. Also, she tries to approach the brand rep, and she just makes a fool of herself, really. But because her hashtag that she said, which is like hashtag detox, ends up trending online, they work with her only off of her clout and her status. They don't really want to work for her, but they're chasing the next big thing, basically. I noticed that also this is the situation as well. BK looks like a normal person with no makeup, all that stuff. When she dresses up, and even when she doesn't like put on all this makeup and a wig, she like blows her hair out. She puts on a nice dress for her date with the officer, and she looks really nice. And the fact that even when BK was not even had done anything with her hair as far as like blowing it out or even putting on a nice dress that showed her figure, she had on like regular clothes, and the officer saw her beauty then, which I forgot the officer's name. Timba, I think is his name. And I think what I noted there about that is the officer's not moved by surface beauty. He's looking for something more, and he sees that in BK. And while some other people might have passed her by because they felt like she looked insignificant from her outward appearance, she's this smart mother who is resourceful and creative and talented, and the officer sees something in her that he wants to know more. Also, good relationships accept you for who you are. When you have good people around you, not that your true relationships with people, your friends or your family should not challenge you or say, I think that's a bad decision. You know, you should be able to be challenged by the people you have in your life, but they also accept you. And that's why I put that on there too, because Timba was interested in her when she looked quote unquote insignificant. I don't want to say it like that because it does, like she looked like a normal person, right? She had on regular pants, regular clothes, but without all of the extra makeup and the hair done and the wigs and the weaves and whatever and eyelashes and all of that, just in her natural state. He was interested in her, and that's what I liked about Timba, and the way that her and BK's relationship started to grow. It wasn't for who they were, it was for who they were inside. And let's see. Also, being there matters. I think I noted that because yes, and being there for your friends, you see who your true friends are, your real friends are, your people who are behind you for you, your family that's behind you for you, all of those things when situations arise where you need someone. And that's why good relationships are important. And we also learn the reason why Pinky and her mother are not on good terms. So it also gives you a better understanding of why Pinky is the way that she is. Hopefully, y'all did not hear his laughing. Oh my gosh, it was so loud. But we'll learn a little bit more, I think, in episode 4, yes, about Pinky and her mother, but you kind of see a little bit about her. And same thing with surface things, like just taking a book by its cover without learning about that, taking the time to learn about that person, support that person, see what makes that person tick, their interests, who they are inside, can be a disservice. You learn that Pinky's not so selfish, but you learn why she has the walls up that she has. And in episode 4, it reveals a little bit more. So let's get to episode 4, which is this one's called Mogul Slay. So we see a new influencer, this that is going to pick up from where Pinky left off with selling these bags that BK is making. And what I put is that this is another bad decision that snowballs. So a situation happened, this happened. So basically, now there's a situation that happened where BK is now pressured to cut the pawn shop owner in on her profit. Before, I think she probably was giving them a little bit of money, just using the area in the back as a workshop. But now that they see the potential of what BK is bringing in, and they say, okay, you're gonna have to cut us in. We got to help you out with this. You can't continue to take cash. So initially she was taking cash payments, and there was a situation where she actually sold a bag after she confronted Pinky, and but Becky got caught her, took the money from her. Was it Becky? Yeah, and he gave her a little bit of money, but basically it wasn't the payday that BK had been hoping for all this time, but which was from another bad decision. But anyway, so I wrote that down. So we're having to cut somebody else in on this activity that should not have too many people involved in order for you to stay under the radar. Now, we also see that BK is getting more confident in making her decisions. You see BK instead of you see her make decisions out of desperation, but then you also see BK's kind of arrogance come out with how this whole Mogul Slay situation is coming about, just from her reactions. At first, she would work with certain people or make certain deals in order to just get the debt paid off and for her to get the money that she needed to pay for her son's school. But now you see that she already has the money for her son's school, and she increases the deal with the other guy. I can't remember the dude's name, but anyway, the other like guy higher up than BK, I'm sorry, than Becky, to make more money. So you see that arrogance, you see the money seeping in, you see the potential there that she's seeing, even though she's not thinking about the danger, and she thinks she's got this all under control. When we've seen already from the first 3 episodes, and even in the 4th episode, that things are happening and they're not happening the way she plans them, but she has to figure out a way. But that doesn't matter anymore so much at this point. that is the end of not sin. This end of episode 3 and 4. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I'll talk to you again soon.